Michael was born in either 1965 or 1968, possibly in the Midwest, which would explain why he spent some of his criminal careers in North Yankton or on the East Coast. As a child, he did not have the luxuries and privileges that his own children have, and grew up in the deprived environment of a trailer park with his parents. Like Trevor and Franklin, Michael had a tough upbringing due to his alcoholic and physically abusive father, who later abandoned him. Michael's mother, who also abandoned him, was told numerous versions of why his father left, which included, but were not limited to, him skipping town, being run over by a train and joining the Navy. In his high school years, Michael was an acclaimed quarterback for an all-state football team, even putting an amazing performance during his games, and occasionally had his picture in the local newspaper. Still, his temperament issues and constant injuries ultimately forced him to quit. As a young adult, Michael began a life of crime. According to Michael, he was imprisoned twice by the time he was 20. While in prison, Michael learned many skills, including using a tattoo gun by tattooing his name on his cellmate's buttocks. He committed his first robbery in 1988, where he managed to steal $10,000 from a small business on the outskirts of Carcer City. Michael perfected his criminal skills to become an expert marksman and efficient heist leader despite his failures and shortcomings. During this period, he associated himself with Lester Crest, an exquisite planner who would later assist Michael in planning out heists and other tasks. Michael met Trevor Phillips while he was escorting cargo across the border. While Trevor waited to meet his unknown employer, he noticed not one but two dust trails coming up the road, although he was told there would only be one person meeting him with the cargo. Michael exited the first vehicle while an older civilian got out of the second. As it turned out, the more senior civilian had been carjacked by Michael. As Michael tried to make a hasty escape on foot, the older civilian attempted to get Trevor's attention on what had just happened. Trevor approached the civilian and fired a flare gun into the man's eye, brutally killing him. He and Michael dumped the body into a lake afterwards, which Trevor later described as horrible as the flare was still burning inside the man's skull. Trevor and Michael both threw up, since the stench from the burning corpse remained. After noticing how well they worked together, Michael brought an aimless Trevor under his wing as a partner for various crimes he would commit. They were both somewhat successful in their profession. Still, Michael claims they were always impecunious and constantly on the run from the law, as Trevor's rage issues would cause him to murder someone in broad daylight, while Michael's circumspection, foresight, and distinctive style of quoting from Solomon Richards' films drew attention, which caused him and Trevor to quickly leave town after completing a job. A few years later, Trevor met a fellow crook named Brad Snider and introduced him to Michael. Michael and Brad never showed empathy for each other and often expressed mutual distaste and distrust when working together. According to Trevor, Brad planned at one point to cut off Michael and work solely with Trevor, but Trevor refused out of loyalty to the man who gave his life purpose. The trio, along with Lester and a few other accomplices, committed robberies across the Midwest for a while. In 1991, Michael, Trevor, and Brad went to a strip club where they met a stripper named Amanda. Though she initially took a liking to Brad, she eventually came on to Michael. After flirting with each other, the couple started a romantic relationship. Using money earned from illicit activities, Michael bought Amanda some breast implants, which would help with her stripping and prostitution career. This led to Michael creating his own prostitution racket. After a few months of dating, Michael married Amanda and had two children, Tracy and Jimmy, and lived at a trailer park in the Midwest. Eventually, Trevor began to consider Michael soft, as he started to question his criminal lifestyle, fearing for his family. As a result, Michael began to dislike Trevor and his mentally unstable antics, feeling that he might one day hurt his wife and kids. At some point in 2004, Michael met corrupt FIB agent Dave Norton and made a clandestine agreement to cut ties with Trevor and Brad in exchange for the ability to disappear and start a new life. By paying Dave a monthly 5-figure amount, he would relocate Michael and his family to Los Santos and provide them with new identities to start over. By accepting the deal with the FIB, Michael informed Dave of their upcoming robbery in Ludendorff and devised a plan in which Norton would wait for the trio near their getaway site with a sniper rifle and kill Trevor, due to his borderline insanity, and whom Michael believed would come after him and his family should he find out about his role in the plan. Shoot Michael, who, while actually wearing a bulletproof vest, would pretend to bleed out, and arrest Brad. The plan would benefit both Michael and Dave. Michael would walk away with a clean slate, and Dave would be given a career boost for taking down the supposed most wanted man in America. And the rest is history, or how other people know it, GTA 5.